Hello, welcome to Flip. So today we are still on the chapter of fuels and crude oil, but we are on the last part already, which is the describing the issue relating to competing uses of oil as an energy source and as a chemical feedstock. Okay, so what do we mean by these two things? It seems like a lot of new terms to unpack, right? But actually it's quite simple. Okay, so we are talking about competing use, energy source, and chemical feedstock. Okay, so let me just give you an illustration. So what's the hardest to get thing in Singapore right now and all over the world? Okay, you might have guessed it's actually the toilet paper, right? Okay, so toilet paper, you can actually use it to do two things. Okay, maybe there's more, okay, there's more things to do with it. But let's just imagine there's only two things to do with it. Okay, first one being to, clean your table, correct? If you spill like soup or something, you can actually clean it up. Second one being to for toilet use, am I right? Okay, so imagine if you have a roll of toilet paper, you can only use it either one or two, am I right? So this is the idea of competing uses. If you put it in the case of energy, fuels and crude oil, okay, this is what we mean. Petroleum, okay, can be used two ways. One is to generate energy, correct? To burn them, so they power our cars, our planes, etc. Or to use them as a chemical feedstock. Okay, right here, chemical feedstock. Remember what's the component for this? Okay, so this is actually naphtha. Okay. So this is the ingredient to make a lot of things, right? Remember we talk about, for example, there's plastics, medication, etc. Am I right? So this is the usefulness of naphtha. But the case is that now we either have to burn it or we have to use it as a feedstock. Okay, and that's why we come to these 3 points. Okay, these are the only 3 points in the whole portion for this part. Okay, if you copy these 3 points, the rest you can just ignore it. Okay, in a sense. Okay, petroleum is limited but used in both energy production and chemical feedstock. Okay, so we talk about these two. If we use it for A, we cannot use it for B. Okay, so depending on the question, you can change this around. Okay, vice versa. It is wasteful to burn petroleum. Okay, burning causes pollution and global warming. Okay, so this is just a nice thing to say. Okay, I mean it's true, but O-level always ties in the importance of being environmentally friendly, right? So it's not just to score like marks, okay, but this is an important issue. Okay, and so with that, we have come to the end of fuels and crude oil.